This is Professor Porter, Introduction to Mock Trials, Part 4 of a 10-part series. This is called Professional Presentations. I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means. As always, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the hashtags, and contact me if you have any questions at my Gmail or requests for future videos. We think of professional presentations, we think like this type of environment, grad speech, everyone in the audience sitting there passive as you're up at a podium and you're delivering. And while, some of us have jobs where you might give this type of presentation once in a while, presentations and professional presentations are much broader than this. And the thing that mock trial can help you with, and the way I want to think about it in terms of professional presentations, is because I want you to apply what we're talking about and what we're learning in mock trial and the importance of professional presentations more broadly. Don't wait to apply these techniques that we learn for this setting, which may or may not come in your professional career. Instead, this setting, at a job, in a meeting, volunteering for a nonprofit, on a board, on a sales call for a product or service that your company is offering to potential clients. This is the setting that you need to think about professional presentations. Whether you're a planned speaker, 3 of us are going to present at this meeting, and you have to think about what you're going to say and what you've been asked to contribute to that meeting, to that pitch, or whether it's a free-flowing discussion of ideas and you, in evaluating the room, decide, I have something to offer here. I have something that can further this conversation. So the microphone is something that I'm going to figuratively pull towards me to have something to say. If it's a planned speech, planned professional presentation, or it's something that impromptu you decide you're going to offer to this audience, why not make it the most efficient, the most effective, and the most persuasive presentation that you can? If you're trying to sell something, obviously that's going to translate to more sales, more clients, more opportunities for you. If it's a meeting and a sharing of ideas, you're going to further the idea sharing in the room by doing it in an effective, efficient, and persuasive way. So the same way that I'm urging you to think about mock trial and the parts of mock trial is, if you're going to do a direct examination, you might as well ask questions and do so in the most effective, efficient, and persuasive way possible. If you're going to do the opening statement, you might as well make that professional presentation the best one possible. And if you are trained like this, and if you think like this, when you get to this meeting, when you get out, whether you're a lawyer or you do something else in your career, you'll be engaged in professional presentations at one time or another, and you'll adopt a process to going forward with your professional presentations. You'll prepare for them differently. You'll organize what you plan to say differently. It will tighten up and be more effective for the listener. And you'll also present in a way that is conversational, that will invite questions and follow up, and hopefully forge better relationships in a professional setting. This day and age, professional presentations are going to be more like this: telephone conferences, video conferences. Most video conference platforms, the speaker becomes the whole screen, or at least a bigger image in the screen, while there's many others that are listeners and participants. When you have the stage, when you have the microphone, you should be carefully crafting and thinking about what you're going to say. But at the same time, not offering up things we'll talk about, like the presentation distractions or the crutches, or not recognizing when the light's not on you, how you should be acting. So what we want to think about, what we want to do, is make the most effective mock trial presentations. And that could be, again, a jury address, opening statement, closing argument. It could be a presentation to the judge, an argument on a motion or response to an objection. Could be the questions and question and answer that I have in a witness examination, whether it's my witness on direct examination or my opponent's witness on cross-examination. How can I make my presentations at mock trial as effective, as efficient, and as persuasive as possible. So too will be my presentations in life as a professional, whether they're video conference, telephonic, in a meeting, or up in front of a big lecture hall with everyone passively listening to what you have to say. So we're going to go over five uh, items that I want you to keep at the front of your mind as we're thinking about professional presentations. The first one has to do with distractions and why you got to think about quieting your distractions. There's one piece of imagery that I want to put in your head. Everyone, if you are choosing to speak, if you have something to say, or if you're a planned speaker in a professional setting, then we are going to make sure that your content is as good as it can be, right? The same way if you were having a written product, if you were writing a letter, if you were writing a memo, if you were writing a PowerPoint presentation, we try to make that content as absolutely effective and persuasive as it could be. But assuming that content is there, you have to make sure nothing's in the way. I want you to think about presentation distractions in this way. Everyone has a great ball game to watch. Everyone has great content. We're going to assume for purposes of professional presentations and this point of the training that there's something great to watch. There's something great to see. You've taken care in what that presentation is going to be. The content is on point. If they hear it, they'll be persuaded. If they hear it, they'll be compelled to move. If they hear it, it's tight and effective and efficient way of conveying that information. If I'm the client, I want to buy it. If I'm at the meeting, I want to hear more from you. If I'm on your team, I want to bring you on to bigger projects and next things. Why? Because the content is on point. So we have to be very conscious of not letting anything get in the way. And I'm telling you here, presentations, professional presentations, including those at mock trial like witness examinations and jury addresses, presentation distractions are what get in the way of our content. If we think about them, if we understand what they are, these presentation distractions, we acknowledge them, we understand that we have some of them, and we see them in our teammates and in others, and we help them out by pointing them out to them, we can all try to minimize, we can all try to quiet our presentation distractions to let that great content go through, to let that great show come through, like this ball game that we're missing right now. So I'll share mine. My presentation distraction that you might even be clued into with respect to these videos is I come from a part of the country where we talk a little too fast. I had a second one that where I came from in the country, we had a really distracting accent. It was one of those accents where someone says something and you say, wait, where are you from? So I have to clear and minimize those presentation distractions. I have to, whenever possible, neutralize my accent so you can't tell where I'm from. I have to try to speak in a more deliberate, slow way so that you actually hear my content. Because if I blaze through and I talk as fast as I can talk, you're going to be distracted by it and not get it. One of the things that I want you to think about, how the form that these presentation distractions come in. It could be the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? So think about it in terms of questioning a witness. Instead of launching my next question with who, what, where, when, why, describe, explain, the questions that should start out a direct examination of my witness, every time they give me an answer, I repeat it. I kind of echo it. You went to the store? Where did you go? I went to the back of the store where they have the sodas. Where they have the sodas? Why did you go there? So I just repeat it. Or where did you go at that point? I went to the store. And when you went in the store, where did you go? To the back where they have the sodas. And after you saw the sodas, why did you go there? So I can have these words that come out repeating, okay, and so, and they can be distractions in and of themselves. And what we need to do is see that they're there, tell a friend that they're there, acknowledge that they're there, and try our best to minimize. When I teach this in mock trial, I had people raise their hand for presentations distractions. When those words, those extra words, those superfluous words came out of your mouth, we'd raise our hand. A little Pavlovian response to say, we're acknowledging, the room is acknowledging that it's there and wants you to work on it. The second form, other than the words coming out of our mouth, is just our body and the distractions we may make with our body. We've all seen this from presenters. They could do something distractive with their hand as they're talking, and it's every bounce. Pretty soon, you lose track of the content. You lose track of what they're trying to say because you're just watching this hand go up and down. If someone's standing and presenting, like you could be at a meeting, you could be up in front of a screen, or you could be at that podium in the big lecture hall, and you're doing something with your body where you're rocking with your steps, pretty soon that's going to become the distraction. My body is getting in the way. My movement is getting in the way of that great content that lies behind. And it could be something as simple as I used to be in the military, and I went to trainings with military folks where they would help on presentation and help on trial advocacy. And I remember I gave a closing argument once for 10 minutes and worked on the content and got into the content. And a Marine, JAG officer, said to me, "I didn't hear anything you said because there's a wrinkle in your uniform." And that's a presentation distraction. They made sure they couldn't get to my comment because they wanted to tell me, they couldn't get to my content rather, because they wanted to tell me what was distracting them. It's important. So minimize, acknowledge, be aware of those presentations distractions, and allow the listener to get at your content.